If Muhammad spoke the truth, I am going to hell because I don't worship Allah. I don't accept Muhammad as his prophet. So I'm going to hell. If Jesus Christ spoke the truth and I reject Christ, his death on a cross, his deity, then I'm going to hell. According to Muhammad, I am going to hell. According to Jesus Christ, anybody who rejects him is going to spend eternity separate from him. That'll be hell. So, because we're thinking human beings, we had better ask ourselves, what is the truth? And we better follow the evidence. And if the evidence is that Muhammad speaks the truth, we better follow Muhammad. If the evidence is Jesus Christ spoke the truth, we better follow Jesus Christ. Or if the evidence is Siddhartha Gautama Buddha or the avatars of Hinduism spoke the truth, we better follow the evidence. Or if the evidence is that there is no God, we better be atheists.
How do we tell between Christianity and Islam specifically? All we have to compare are these two books, correct? We have these two books, we have scriptures that follow both of them.
Good.
We have a history that comes with both of them.
Good.
How do we know which one's evidence is more factual? How do we know which one's is more true? How do I know which one to follow and not end up in the wrong place? Because that is my fear.
Good. Excellent question. First point, we better study both books to find out, are they accurate or not?
Which is what I think I'm doing.
Good. And I think the evidence is clear. The Quran is reliable. The Quran has been carefully preserved over the past 1,500 years. If anybody wants to try and maintain that the Quran is inaccurate, they're out to lunch. I am convinced. The evidence is very carefully preserved over the past 1,500 years. You have a very accurate presentation of what Muhammad taught. The same thing is true of the Gospels. Very carefully recorded, a plethora of manuscript evidence to support the reliability. So we've got two very accurate books, the Quran and the Gospels. They contradict each other, although there are similarities. A lot of similarities, but also contradictions. Now, the bottom line question is, does the evidence point to the fact that you can trust Muhammad to speak the truth, or does the evidence point to Jesus Christ being trustworthy? Now, here's how I would go about that. Examine life, style. How did Jesus treat women? How did Muhammad treat women? How did Jesus treat his enemies? How did Muhammad treat his enemies? Those types of questions. Lifestyle. Second question, ethical teaching. What are the ethical teachings of Muhammad? What are the ethical teachings of Christ? Are there internal contradictions? Or is there an internal consistency? Third question, how did they die? Obviously, in the Gospels, Jesus dies an excruciatingly painful death, forgiving his enemies. Obviously, that demands my respect. Fourth question, what happens after they die? Obviously, in the Gospels, you have an historical resurrection of Christ, and you have eyewitnesses who see him risen from the dead. So, study the two, Muhammad in the Quran and Jesus in the Gospels, and ask yourself, what does the evidence point to? Who is more reliable, Muhammad or Christ?